Why, hello there. This is your good Thomas friend 74. What you seeing in front of me is this rolled up bag. Well, it's actually two bags. It's holding up a train that I so really wanted to get as a replacement of my old one. But when I got this, I noticed something actually strange about this. It was something that I didn't see at first, but I'll show you what I mean. There's one layer. Okay, gotta be super careful with this one now. I got a replacement Trackmaster Henry! And this one is the 2009 model. Alright, now let's take a look around this model. There's actually something I just noticed on the one I just got. I'll get to that later, but let's take a look around. Now obviously this is based on the Playrail version of Henry. Obviously that was released in Japan. Back in 1993, it was reworked just a few times. Then Toys got its hands on it in 2007 for all any countries outside Japan and some other Asian countries. And then it was all eyes on Fisher-Price and Mattel. And the one you're seeing here is the 2009 one. I often like to go for the Trackmaster 2009 ones that are officially made by Mattel. You can see the top. As you can see, this one is the screwdriver part right there. And there's the info. We see Henry's name right there. We see 2009 Fisher-Price and Mattel. But if you actually notice, if you look very carefully on this model of Henry, you're actually going to be seeing some things that are kind of unusual from a Fisher-Price and Mattel version, like this model of Henry. Let me show you. For being a Fisher-Price and Mattel version, you know how they don't like putting stickers on the models? This Trackmaster Henry actually legitimately has, like, cab windows. You see that? It's cab windows. Now, I don't think that is put on by a custom Trackmaster. I think that is actually made from the factory. But yeah, those are cab stickers. You wouldn't expect to see that from a Fisher-Price and Mattel version. But it gets even more bizarre right here. That is part of the sticker for the piston. That doesn't exist. Fisher-Price and Mattel also doesn't put the sticker on. But this one somehow does. And it continues to the bottom. I don't know how good you can see this, but these screws, all these, are Phillips screws. Not the triangular screws. It's Phillips screws. Would you believe that? This one uses Phillips screws. And I don't think this is fake. I think this is done from the factory that this model would have come from. But do you know what I think about this? I think what I got is a hybrid. Now, I'm just taking a wild guess here. This may not be true, but I think this one is a hybrid of a Hit Toys Henry in the form of the Fisher-Price Henry. This was, of course, doing this transition in 2010. 2009 was still Hit Toys. But this was probably at that era of Hit Toys Trackmaster getting the work done on these. And after doing all this, thing was sent to Mattel. They obviously wouldn't put in the sticker detailing at all. It's normal for that, but somehow this one has beat the odds. And I think this was, I don't want to say it was the only train. I think it's just one of the first few trains that have this type of Hit Toys and Mattel treatment hybrid. I think there's a couple engines that also did this, and I think Henry was one of the first few that have this. At least the one I got. So, I think with this, the stickers, the screws, are from the Hit Toys, and it's put on a Fisher-Price model, which, as a result, makes this hybrid. Which is why this Henry actually looks kinda complete. Well, except the white foot plate, but yeah, I got a hybrid, I think. Well, enough of that. Let's put the battery inside Henry. Of course, this is the 2009 ones. You have to use the screwdriver to open this. A little more. Yeah. This one's also a little bit different to my other Henry because it has this type of plastic right here. See, that's covering this one up. So it won't fit on the Tommy version. Wouldn't fit here. Okay. You see it's running. Just clip this down. Okay, and now give this a test. Alright, I'll test out now this hybrid Hit Toys and Fisher-Price hybrid Trackmaster Henry. Honestly with you, I was not expecting this Trackmaster 2009 Henry with a lot of the details put onto him from the factory, nor did I expect to see it with Phillips screws, because that's not usually the case with these by Fisher-Price and Mattel. But with this Henry being a hybrid, during the time when Hit Toys Trackmaster send their products to Fisher-Price, this is a very strange hybrid. And it's working very nicely. And I actually managed to get this in a very good condition. Because the tender is entirely a sticker, but it has no protective layer over it. Thus tears very easily. And you often see that being torn a good chunk of times. So, because of all this, I got very lucky and managed to get a hybrid Trackmaster Henry. That may will be an earliest model of Henry being purchased. I don't think I'm the only one to have this type of hybrid. I think there are a couple of Trackmaster 2009 Henry hybrids out there. They're a good chunk out there. But most of them probably got been replaced with the newer ones with the stickers removed. But this really is one of a kind, I say, in my collection. One of a kind. Surprising. Well, that's it for this very interesting model of Henry that I got. And it's a hybrid.